Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, because over the last couple of days, Bitcoin has been actually trading below the 20 exponential moving average, the moving average that I use to determine when Bitcoin is in an uptrend or a downtrend. And yesterday, I missed a video, but in that video, I was going to be talking about bearishness for Bitcoin, because these two candlesticks were showing a potential rejection off of the 20 exponential moving average, showing Bitcoin moving to the downside even farther. But interestingly enough, if we zoom in here to the hourly chart, over the last 2 hours since the time I'm recording this, Bitcoin has actually broken very bullish. So what on earth is Bitcoin doing? Is Bitcoin bullish right now, or is Bitcoin bearish? There's a lot of mixed signals coming into the market from Bitcoin in today's video. So in today's video, we're going to try to dispel some of the myths and try to dive into exactly what Bitcoin is doing and where Bitcoin is going to be headed over these next couple of days, because Bitcoin is acting very erratic and very illogical right now. Hopefully we can try and peel back some of the confusion and actually get a proper prediction made for Bitcoin here over the next couple of days. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, what I want you to do is go down to the description down below and smash the absolute living daylights out of that like button and tell me in the comment section exactly how you did it. I've had people talk about how they threw their phone on the floor, how they punched a hole through their monitor, how they have used a hammer on their phone. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you have to do that, but it would be, it definitely would be up there with what some other people have done. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell, guys. And before we get on into it, I do want to mention that there is a new sale running on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, guys. We did raise the price a couple days ago, but the price is still very, very fairly priced, in my opinion. This course is still massively undervalued. There's a 20% off coupon in the description down below, June 2019. And guys, I want to point something out. College courses cost several $100s for about the same amount of content that is in this course for one course. And yet to get a degree that you can actually do anything with, you have to spend 4 years, at least 2 years, 4 years in college, literally tens of thousands of dollars to get the knowledge to maybe go and learn an applicable skill that will maybe make you $20 or $25 an hour, guys. Trading these markets has an unlimited potential for how much money you can make, and this course only has 10 hours of content. In 10 hours, you're going to learn just about everything you need to know to get started working in these markets and learn a profitable skill that you can go and apply tomorrow, instead of waiting 4 years to get a degree that you're going to hang on your wall and not do anything with while you're driving to McDonald's, because no one accepts degrees anymore. You can instead put some money and some time into the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, learn these markets, and start trading them. The coupon code is June 2019, linked in the description. Go check it out. Anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So guys, like I said, the confusing thing that we're dealing with right now, we can see very clearly on the 4-hourly chart. Bitcoin was trading and coming up here and testing that 20 exponential moving average, which if we go ahead and draw it so we can see it, looks a little something like this. This is where that 20 EMA is coming through, and Bitcoin has come up and tested it several times and not managed to get through it. We saw Bitcoin come up here and tested it once right here, several times over here, many times, and we rejected. And on these several candlesticks right here, this made it look like we were going to actually properly reject off the 20 EMA and go to the downside. Essentially what it looked like here was Bitcoin was coming up and testing this 20 exponential moving average. We broke below it, came up and tested it, and then rejected off of it. And that's a pretty common way that you reject off of moving averages or other levels of resistance. You first break through them, then you test them again, then you reject off of them, and you move to the downside. Not very often do you come down, test it, reject, and then bounce straight back up through it. That's not something you see happen very often, which is why I was expecting that Bitcoin would have been going a little bit more bullish right now. But in fact, that's not what's happened. Bitcoin instead has bounced to the upside here over the last couple of hours, moving above our level of resistance once again. Now, as far as I understand it, there are two different scenarios that can play out here, guys. You know that I like to throw some scenarios at you, so here are the two scenarios. One of the ways that I see this playing out is that Bitcoin stays above this 20 EMA line right around here and does actually continue this rally. That would be very interesting. I would not expect that to happen with the way the market is moving right now. Perhaps we need to adjust our technical analysis to be even more biased in favor of the bulls than we already have. But the other scenario is that Bitcoin comes up here above this moving average for a couple hours and then falls back below it. That's very possible. Just because Bitcoin is above it right now doesn't mean it will stay above it. This daily candlestick is not very old. It hasn't necessarily closed above it just yet, so that doesn't necessarily mean that we're above it. As you guys can see, we traded actually above this 20 EMA for quite some time over here, but as you guys know, levels of support and resistance have this kind of zone to them. You can trade above or below them just a little bit and not actually properly break them. As you guys can see right here, Bitcoin had not properly broken the 20 EMA here on the daily chart, even though it was slightly above it. The same thing very well may be true here for this little movement that we've seen over the last couple of hours. As it continues to play out over the rest of today, perhaps we either reject off of it or just trade below it or slightly around it and never actually get a proper bullish breakout above that 20 EMA to confirm the continuation of the rally. So pretty much the way I see it right now, guys, is that Bitcoin is wedged in between the 20 EMA because we haven't properly broken it right now, and also this uptrend of support. Let's come down here to the 4-hourly chart, and you guys will see very clearly what I'm talking about here. Actually, we'll come down to the hourly chart because those levels of support look a little cleaner. If we come down to the 4-hourly chart, we can see this uptrend that I've drawn here. We have many touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bitcoin has a very clear and well-defined uptrend of support, but we also have a very clear and well-defined downtrend of resistance, that being that 20 exponential moving average, which is moving right around through there. So the way I see it is that until Bitcoin properly breaks out here and actually gets away from that 20 EMA and it kind of gets out of the gravity well of that moving average, Bitcoin is still in a way below it. We're kind of looking like a Schrodinger's moving average here. Is Bitcoin above it or is Bitcoin below it? You can't know until you move forward 12 hours in the future and then you find out. Bitcoin is kind of in this consolidation pattern, actually, this symmetrical triangle pattern, with this being an uptrend of support and this exponential moving average being a downtrend of resistance. So until we break out of this and we break bullish, Bitcoin is actually still in this moving average despite being slightly above it, in my humble opinion, because like you guys know about moving averages, and as we talk about in several videos in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, levels of support and resistance have a zone around them. It's not just a flat level. This uptrend of support could garner support right down here, or it could garner support right up here, but you're still actually getting support on this zone. It's almost how you can never actually know exactly where an electron is. In electron field diagrams, they're all probabilistic. There's a probability that Bitcoin is going to bounce. The most likely probability is that it'll bounce right off of this uptrend, but there's also maybe a 32.5% probability that Bitcoin will bounce right here, or a 17.294% probability that Bitcoin will bounce down here. If you guys know anything about quantum mechanics, that's a really good analogy for what we're talking about with levels of support and resistance. So what I want to see is Bitcoin continue to trade sideways for the next couple of days and either decide if it's going to break bullish or if it's going to break bearish here. Like I've said, guys, a lot of times the best move to make is to not move at all. Sometimes, as I said in a previous video, when winning is an option, but so too is loss, sometimes the best move is to not move at all. This is a great example of this. Right now, Bitcoin looks like it'll probably break bullish here, to be totally honest, but there's a good chance that it won't. When winning is an option, but so too is loss, sometimes the best move is to not move at all. And in this case, that means not trading at all, because Bitcoin could either break bullish or it could break bearish. That isn't really decided just yet because we haven't seen Bitcoin break above its support or below its resistance. Excuse me, above its resistance or below its support. We haven't seen Bitcoin choose yet. So I'd be very wary about making predictions right now. And I think that you and I should also be very wary about making trades right now until we either break back up above the 20 EMA and decide that we are properly in an uptrend again, or we break below this uptrend of support and decide that we are actually in a downtrend. Essentially what I've done here, guys, is because Bitcoin is being indecisive around the 20 exponential moving average, I've moved the decision point level of support from the 20 EMA like I would normally have it temporarily to this uptrend of support. If Bitcoin breaks this uptrend of support and stays below it, then perhaps we'd be moving into a new downtrend, and from there it'd be pretty much confirmed because we'd be far away from the 20 EMA at that point. Let's go ahead and talk about this uptrend of support a little bit more, actually, while we're on the topic. I'm very happy with this uptrend of support. It's very well defined. It has levels of support on it all over the place. We do have a big gap in here, but that's not necessarily the end of the world. Bitcoin is very, very, very well glued to it. We can see all of these touches are almost perfect on this uptrend of support. Definitely a level of support that you're going to want to be looking out for. But something interesting actually shows up here on the 4-hourly chart and on a couple of other charts if you look at it. And that would be that if Bitcoin gets much of a bounce here and does actually get too far above the 20 EMA, like up here, and then rejects, what are we looking at, guys? What does this look like to you? Well, to me, this looks like a head and shoulders pattern with a shoulder right there, a head right there, and a shoulder right there with a slightly uptrending neckline right there. What essentially this means is that because Bitcoin has this uptrend of support and because of the way the price action played out over here, if Bitcoin does break bullish and moves up to maybe right around $8,500 to $8,600 or so, and then rejects, that would actually be a bad thing for Bitcoin if you were looking to long Bitcoin and you want Bitcoin to go to the upside. It'd be a good thing for me because I want to buy Bitcoin, but nevertheless, if Bitcoin does go up to $8,600, that's probably going to be a bearish thing for Bitcoin because it's going to form a head and shoulders pattern. And guys, head and shoulders patterns are very powerful chart patterns. They very, very often do play out exactly the way you would expect them to. They don't get ignored very often. So if Bitcoin does rally up here to $8,500 or $8,600 and rejects, and we have a head and shoulders pattern, that is probably going to initiate a lot more bearish price action, and that'll probably almost definitely drive us below at least that uptrend of support. And guys, just to give you an example that head and shoulders patterns are very well received, if we look back over here about a year ago to last June, actually. I can't believe it's been a year since this happened. That's actually mind-blowing. Bitcoin entered an inverse head and shoulders pattern over here with a neckline at $6,800, which is actually a level that we're going to be talking about here in just a second. And from there, we initiated about a 2-week rally that saw Bitcoin rallying, what was it, about 30-40%? I don't recall. About 40%. Bitcoin had a very strong rally here because of that inverse head and shoulders pattern. And the exact same thing can happen on the inverse of an inverse, which is just canceling that with a normal head and shoulders pattern, and push Bitcoin further to the downside. And something I want to point out is that, yes, we are in a bull market right now, so you would think that a head and shoulders pattern wouldn't be that strong on Bitcoin because it would be pushing Bitcoin down when the overall market sentiment is pushing Bitcoin up. But let me show you something. That inverse head and shoulders pattern I just showed you, that was an inverse head and shoulders pattern in a bear market. So this was a bullish rally in a bear market. The exact same inverse movement as we would be seeing right now. Bearishness and bullishness and bullishness and bearishness. The exact same thing would be happening right here. So if this head and shoulders pattern does play out, it would probably move us to the downside. Let's talk briefly about price targets. If Bitcoin does break to the downside, I'll discuss them even more. I've talked about them in several videos at this point, but I'll discuss them even more if Bitcoin does actually confirm a breakout again, because we haven't really seen a proper confirmation just yet. One of the levels I'll be looking at is, as I mentioned in previous videos, about $7,000, which does line up pretty well with the 50 simple moving average right now. And also, if we bust out our Fibonacci retracement, then we're going to find another very important level right down here. Oh my lord, guys, I missed one upload and I forget where my Fibonacci retracement is. There it is. Anyway, if we look at our Fibonacci retracement from the beginning of this rally, that puts us with the 38.2% level, which is the inverse of phi, which is 61.8%, which is the inverse of 1.68%. 1.618%, excuse me, and that would be right here around $6,800. So if we do see Bitcoin move to the downside, I would be expecting Bitcoin to find support in a zone somewhere in between these levels right here, $6,800 and $7,000. This kind of zone is a level of support that I would be looking at, perhaps even slightly lower, because we'd come all the way down to that level of support here on the Fibonacci, which does line up pretty well with $6,800. Like I said, 61.8% is the most important level in Fibonacci retracement. I don't think Bitcoin's going to come this low, though. So if you flip that over the center line, which is 0.5, then you find that 38.2% is actually the second most important Fibonacci level. And like I said, 61.8 is the inverse of phi, which is 1.618. Not getting into all that. That's based on E and the golden ratio. Like I said, that's some mathematics we don't need to get into in today's video, but this is an important level. And also, note this number, and remember how I mentioned $6,800 recently. That was the inverse, that was the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern over here. If we go ahead and drag out a horizontal line and we put it right here on the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern right about there, then what do we find, guys? We find that this was the neckline, and we look over here. Well, guess what? That lines up almost perfectly with where our Fibonacci retracement is right there. If we bring this all the way up to the candlestick, it sits on there almost perfectly. $6,800 is a very clear level of support that Bitcoin will almost certainly go to in the future if we do see a downtrend. That's one place that we're probably definitely going to see a level of support should we see a new downtrend form. Couple more things and we're going to wrap the video up here, guys. One thing I wanted to point out was the actual MACD on Bitcoin. As you guys can see, MACD was continuing to diverge again a couple days ago, or actually just yesterday. We did see that it started diverging once again, but in fact, in today's candlestick, Bitcoin's MACD has started to converge bullish again. We saw this was converging, I had to compose myself there. I got a little confused. We saw that we were diverging bearish, and then in today's candlestick, because we're seeing Bitcoin move to the upside, and Bitcoin has actually seen some green, we are converging bullish. Sometimes you can get a little twisted on that, so I had to pause there for a second to get my head on straight. Anyway, guys, that is something we're going to want to keep an eye out for. You guys know how powerful MACD is, and the actual change and the signals of the convergence of the divergence of the MACD and the signal line make a very, very big difference in technical analysis. Also, since we have gone ahead and closed this weekly candlestick bearish like this, it has caused Bitcoin to have a very drastic shift on its weekly MACD. We see that there's some very, very bearish convergence here on the weekly MACD. This is a big gap right here. Bitcoin has converged quite significantly here on its weekly MACD for the first time in many, many months. So perhaps this big red candlestick doesn't mean anything at all, or perhaps it's indicative of some kind of larger trend that may be forming here over the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Very much too early to tell on that. Stochastic RSI is also looking very bearish. You guys know what I say about stochastic RSI. Don't read overbought signals on it. Instead, read the direction shifts on stochastic RSI, guys. Right now, the weekly chart is actually looking more bearish than the daily chart, so keep in mind that that means means that the next couple of days might be bullish for Bitcoin, but from there we could see a new downtrend form, and that would actually potentially line up very well with the idea of Bitcoin rallying to $8,600 or so, and then correcting in an inverse, in a head and shoulders pattern, and seeing Bitcoin drive even lower. That could actually end up being what is going to happen. But as I've said in previous videos also, guys, right now it's a little too early to go diving into exactly what Bitcoin is going to do, because it's still in kind of this decision point. We're not very clearly in an uptrend or very clearly in a downtrend. Bitcoin is kind of in this decision point, in this almost symmetrical triangle pattern with an exponential moving average as one of the levels of resistance. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. But before we conclude today's video, I do want to remind you that there is a sale going on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, guys. We have over 30 videos. We have 33 videos in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Over 9 hours, nearly 10 hours of video content in here that you can watch as many times as you want. That's a question that literally dozens of people have asked me after they joined the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Can I watch the videos more than once? Yes, guys, you can watch the videos more than once, and you should. There's a lot of information jam-packed into every single video. If you watch the video only once, you're not going to get all of the information out of it, because I've thrown so much content into each and every single one of these videos. You're not going to be getting your money's worth, or at least you're not going to be getting as much of your worth as you could out of this course if you don't watch the videos more than once. I encourage you to watch these videos more than once. Guys, I've seen people tell me, we've had literally about 600 people join the course right now, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's around 570, I want to say, if I remember a flash proof of that up on screen. I don't remember the exact number, so if I'm a little off on that, that's not me misquoting something. I just don't quite remember. But we've had dozens of people come to me and tell me that, yeah, what I do is I watch 1 or 2 videos a day, I jot notes down, and then I watch the videos again later on that day, or people come up with these different systems for how they want to watch the course. But overall, we've had hundreds of people go through this course, many hundreds at this point, and all of them seem to be greatly enjoying the course content, guys. I've seen so many emails from people where they email me and they say, Jeb, because of your course, I've learned technical analysis and I'm now profitable in trading. Or, Jeb, because of your course, I can now read these markets and actually understand what's going on. One person even said, now that I understand how the cryptocurrency markets work and how technical analysis work, I'm not just chalking everything up to whales and to manipulation and conspiracy theories. I had someone stop believing in a bunch of conspiracy theories because they took the course and they now actually understand how these markets work. Guys, if you're taking the time to watch to the end of this video and you've watched the entire duration of this video, you know what that means? That means that you care about the cryptocurrency market. That means that you're trying to learn the cryptocurrency market, and that means that you're probably a trader and or an investor in the cryptocurrency market, or you probably will be soon. And if you're going to be a trader or an investor in the cryptocurrency market, you need to understand how these markets work, guys. It's very important that you don't just dive into the markets and start throwing hundreds or thousands of dollars at the market, because what you're going to do is you're going to waste thousands of dollars and you're going to waste thousands of hours of your time. It took me a couple thousand hours to learn everything I needed to go ahead and build this channel and build the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. This is definitely a part of my career at this point, cryptocurrency and the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel. It's a very important part of my life, and if you guys want to be profitable in the cryptocurrency space, you're going to have to make it an important part of your life. But you can do it a lot easier than I did, because what I did, guys, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of background on me if you're new here. I got into the cryptocurrency space about 2 years ago. Back over here on, it was June 31st, excuse me, it was July 31st, excuse me, it was right here. This daily candlestick right here. This is where I got into Bitcoin, right there. And I spent months and months and months learning these markets by trading them and just by watching YouTube videos all day long. Guys, I'm a firm believer that if you want to invest the time, then you can learn anything by just watching free YouTube videos. Everything in this course is free on the internet, but let me tell you why you don't want to go and try and learn it on the internet. Because if you do, you will not have an organization that will teach you how the different parts of technical analysis interplay with each other. You won't have an organized way to learn this material, and it will cost you thousands of hours to do this, guys. I'm not exaggerating. To learn everything that I did about the cryptocurrency market, I'm completely self-taught. Took me thousands of hours and a couple of years to do so. So instead of doing that, and instead of doing what I did, which was coming in here and watching this bull market and missing it, because I remember I got in this market right over here, and I saw Bitcoin when I got in just go rally, rally, rally every single day. I'm like, okay, well, at the time, I didn't know anything about technical analysis because I had just gotten into the market. I said, okay, Bitcoin's going to stop soon, and then it stopped, and then, no, it kept going. I missed out on this entire rally, and I was very salty, and I would have very easily been able to trade that rally if I actually knew what I was doing. It's not only that you're missing out on money, it's not only that you're losing money on trades that you're making if you're new to the space because you're not totally where you need to be in your technical analysis skills. There's also an opportunity cost, guys. Every day that you waste not knowing how this market works and how this market actually functions is another day of potential bull market that you're missing out on. Bitcoin bull markets only last so long. Just because Bitcoin is bullish right now doesn't mean it will be in 2 years. You need to learn how to trade these markets so that you can then make as much money as you can for yourself and for your friends and for your family and for your own future while you still have the opportunity, guys. Bitcoin is one of the greatest opportunities of our lifetime. It's the modern day gold rush. We're the modern day 49ers because there's so much money to be made. Only if you know what you're doing, though. You're not going to make a ton of money just by throwing money at the market trading, and you're going to lose money. Don't do that. I've seen so many people not know what they're doing, throw thousands of dollars at the market, lose all of it, and then leave, and then a couple years later, they come back and see 2017's all-time high and say, crap, I shouldn't have left. Well, if they knew what they were doing and they hadn't lost all that money, then they wouldn't have left. Guys, there's so many reasons to learn what this market does. The course sells itself. I've mentioned it, and a couple dozen of you guys joined the course. So if you want to learn how to do technical analysis and get ready for the bull market of the century, guys, I do highly recommend you hit the link in the description and use the coupon code June2019 to get 20% off the course price. Go ahead and join the hundreds of people that have gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. And guys, like I've said before, what do you actually have to lose in this? Because we run sales on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy and people join the course. But if you don't enjoy the course, all you got to do is shoot me an email that says, Jeb, I want my money back. I want a refund. Boom, you got your money back. It's not that complicated. I will hit the refund button in Stripe or PayPal, depending on how you paid me, and shoot you your money back right now. It's not that hard. It's just really not that big of a deal. Whenever people sometimes don't put the coupon code into the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, what I do is I go into Stripe or PayPal and I refund them the difference so that they can actually get that coupon code applied. It's literally the click of one button and you get your money back. I will do that, no questions asked. Go ahead, join the course right now. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Tell me in the comment section down below, do you think Bitcoin is going to break bullish here, or do you think Bitcoin is going to break bearish here? I'm not really all that happy about making a prediction on it right now because Bitcoin is in such a precarious state. It could really go either direction. But tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinions down there. Also, if you're in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, tell people in the comment section down below what you think. They don't have to believe me, but hopefully they will believe some of you guys. If you're in the course, let them know if you enjoy it. If you hate it, give them an honest review. I want to see that in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.